Hello. Hello, and welcome
Hey.
to another episode. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, everybody. And Dave, thanks for making the time to hang out with me.
Oh, of course. Of course. I have been very curious to talk to you this week, and at the same time, didn't want to bother you this week because I'm following everything on social media, and I'm like, oh my goodness, everybody wants to catch up with Nicole. And there's so many different angles that I have to ask you about on this whole thing that it's been an amazing week as far as how busy you have been. And again, I didn't want to bother you the whole week, but holy cow, man, there's been a lot going on.
It's been a lot. And I'm so appreciative. Like, it's been nothing but love. There's been a few weird messages. We'll get to that. I have some things to say. But there's been so much love and support. And if I haven't said thank you or reached back out to you and you've messaged me, I apologize. I really am trying to get to every single one of them. It's exhausting. And just so everybody's aware, part of my symptoms of this stupid thing inside of me is fatigue. So I'm already just trying to get through the day. And but oddly, it's giving me, it's a distraction. Everything's a distraction, even though we're still continuing to talk about it. Um, it is a distraction and it's helpful. So it's like all the love and support and just all the things that are coming at me. Um, they give me just a little bit of purpose, because I can't work full time right now. And I'm used to that. So it's like taking its place. But again, if I haven't responded to you, I apologize. But I think I'm getting back to almost everybody, trying to
You
at
know,
least.
yeah, I don't think a lot of people are expecting you to get back to everybody right away. And if you don't, you don't. The one thing that you said right at the very beginning, which is exactly the first thing I thought of, was I hope she feels how much she is loved,
I
because I
do.
think this has really come across. And at the same time, which really pleases me that people have expressed how much they care about you, has been outstanding. It's it's really something else. It's a shame that it takes something like what you're going through for people to show, how much they care. Like I always find it interesting that people hold back to tell other people they love them. It's okay to say that you care.
No, you're right. But it would be weird if complete strangers messaged you every day telling you that they loved you for no reason,
Yeah,
wouldn't it? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. Well,
let's be honest here.
that.
Let's play devil's advocate.
No,
Um,
but there are people in your life who care
of
about you that
course.
don't take time to say "I love you" or finish a phone call with "I love you."
No, I've got a few people coming for redemption too. And listen, it does, like, unfortunately, it just does take things like this to wake us all up and, like, shake things up a bit. But anyways, I feel like I get a lot of support from people anyways. This has just been, I had no idea that releasing the podcast would cause this ball that has started rolling. And I didn't know it would get so much attention. I didn't know that every news outlet in the entire world was going to publish it. Um but with that being said, again, it reiterates my thing of, like, what happens to parents who don't have this kind of support, that are single parents, especially because to me, the single parents is like, it's an extra layer that a lot of people don't understand. So it just reiterates to me, like, how fortunate I am and how privileged I am. And the fact that I've touched these people and they're reaching back and they're touching me now, there's no words to describe it without sounding completely corny. Um, but it's amazing. It truly, truly is amazing. It gives me strength. I thank everybody. The outpouring of support from people I know and don't know um, has been more than anything I ever would have thought of or expected or anticipated or anything like that. It's been so solid and so comforting and so just uplifting, honestly.
Again, I'm glad you feel it. One reason I was hoping I didn't ask you to, it was your idea to share your story on this format. Is that I knew there are other people out there who are alone, and
Yeah.
basically, it's now something in common. What people don't realize about you, and I think a lot of actors and people are kind of hit and miss on the characters they play. They assume the person they're watching on TV is that person often, and I tell people all the time, Nicole's a really good person. Like, I'm very pleased that we're friends and that, we have a friendship, that you're friends with my son, that um, you're a really good person. You didn't deserve this. Nobody deserves this. And the fact that you're fighting this publicly, I think is outstanding. I had so many people reach out to me that know me, that knew you as an actress, people I haven't spoken to in years, who said they cried when you announced it last week. People who just sent me a note saying, "Hey, just tell Nicole that, hey, we're behind her. I'm so sorry." And the outpouring of people that contacted me that don't know you, I thought was awesome. That, there's so many people rooting for you right now, and
I
and
can
look,
feel it.
I know you do. I know you do, and I feel bad for anyone that writes and says I cried, but it's because they love and care about you, and they know your situation. For me, I just go, "This is a mom," and your kids don't deserve this either.
No, nobody deserves it, which brings me to a funny topic because, I get so many messages of people, having remedies, and so much advice, and I'm sure a lot of it is super solid, but it started to get overwhelming. At first, I was like, "Oh, save that," because, but a friend of mine, Roxy, who's also battling, but she's battling stage 4, and she's such a warrior, she's doing so well. She messaged me and she said, right about now you're probably getting a ton of messages of all these things that can help you. And she's like, I just want to remind you that this is your journey and you have to go with your plan and stay on track with where you're going. And I really appreciated that because I was getting so many messages and I started feeling irresponsible for not reading like every link and calling
Yeah.
every doctor that's supposed to be the best in the nation. I started feeling like um I wasn't doing my due diligence and I was being neglectful, and it started to make me feel a little bit bad and a little bit worried, and I started saving information. So, like, if my plan doesn't go well, I have this. Like, if I need an alternative, if things go bad, and it honestly, weirdly, it's the wrong mindset. You do have to stick to a plan. It's great to listen to other people and sort of compare notes and stuff like that, but you do have to choose your path and your journey because every cancer is different. Every
Yep.
body, the makeup of your body is different. So what worked for somebody might not work for somebody else. So all the tips and stuff are great and but you have to take it um you have to just say, "Oh, yeah, okay, I'm already kind of doing that, and okay, is this something I can improve on?" But you can't, like, stop and change directions once you're headed in one direction because you're gonna be, like, going in all these wild directions. So, that was something I that kinda caught me off guard, I didn't realize was gonna happen. So, yeah, I have to just stay focused on where I'm going and how I'm doing it. But there's been so many, not so many actually. I was expecting hate. We talked about this because I was going back and forth with myself about going public with this. And because I knew that there were gonna be people who did not wish me well. And at the end of the day, I felt like it was more important to talk about it and normalize this and make other people not feel alone and let other people, let people know that this is okay to talk about. And I didn't
Yeah.
want to hold this secret. I wanted to be able to um, openly talk. Otherwise, I'm going to be holding on to this big secret for, however long, and I didn't want that for my life. So, I chose to speak about it and, help be part of the solution. And this is something I learned in the past with coming forward about my abuser. You have to let everybody know. The more people that come forward and talk about it and normalize it, the better people feel and the less alone people feel. But I was kind of shocked by how many people thought that it was because I got the vaccine. Like, I deserve this because I promoted the vaccine. And I was like, did I promote the vaccine? Because I don't really remember doing that. Um, but I'm pretty sure your president, Donald Trump, also got the vaccine, if you remember correctly. And and then I got all these links to it's like rapid cancer from the vaccine and then some people were like, you got this because of your political beliefs. And I thought, you got to be kidding me. Like, you've got to be kidding me out there if you think that political beliefs, and first of all, you don't know mine because I don't talk
Yeah,
politics.
you don't.
So whatever
You don't.
you think you know about me, you are so incorrect. You have no idea what you're talking about. And then there were some that was like, well, I love Nicole. I don't like her political outbursts.
Never heard of one.
Political outbursts? Me? It's
Even
like,
off there. Never heard of one.
no, no, except that I hate it and I don't want to talk about it. Um, as soon as you all realize that both sides are as evil as each other, well, we have nothing to talk about. Um, and then TMZ calls me and is like, "Did you see this?" And apparently Scott Baio, my abuser, tweeted hashtag karma with
Wow.
like the happy face. And I they're like, "Did you see this?" I was like, "Of course I didn't see this. What do you think I'm like?" Contrary to his belief, I could give a shit what he's doing in his life. Um, First of all, I want to say that anybody who knows them knows it's his wife that posts on his page. That's number one. But he's as guilty because he allows it to happen.
Yeah.
Number two, they don't believe in karma. So this comment doesn't bother me whatsoever because if they believed in karma, they wouldn't do half the shit that they do. I mean, don't forget, this is a woman who told Sandy Hook victims, their parents of Sandy Hook, the shooting, that horrible incident. She told those parents that they were better, that their children were better off, that their children
Wow.
were in a better place now than in their homes. Like that's who we're talking about. So this is somebody who has no soul. So they can't believe in karma. They just possibly
Yeah.
can't. So TMZ wanted a response from me about what I thought about it. And I was like, well, I'm not surprised. Like, what do you want me to say? I'm not surprised. They're as disgusting as ever. And this is the abuser continuing to abuse and a liar continuing to lie. And like, here we are. So if people were wondering if that hurt my feelings, it did not. I 100% expected it. And in a weird way, it made me happy because I believe in karma.
Yeah.
I
I did
believe
too.
in karma. So you just put your seatbelts on, Beos. Put your seatbelts on. Yep.
Yeah, it's funny is as you said, you were on so many different outlets. I mean, I have it set up. I get notifications about you on my
Oh,
computer since we started doing the
you
show.
do have it? Yeah. Oh,
Oh my
it was
gosh,
nuts, right?
it was
Uh-huh.
it was absolutely nuts. The rundown, and so I got a note from TMZ earlier in the week asking me, "Do I want to go on and talk?" And I said, "It's not my story. You got to go through Nicole." I didn't even call you to say, "Nicole, is it okay if I speak on your behalf?" I wouldn't do that to you. Hey, it's not my call. And then, I'm watching the other ones and I thought you did a fantastic job sharing your story this week. The funniest one I got to tell you, just from a mom's point of view, I posted, how great was it that Good Morning America shared your story? And I posted it and they took a clip of you announcing it on your podcast last week. This exact look that we have now with you and me side by side. And I'm just in this position as you're telling the story. And my mother, "Hey, it would be nice if Good Morning America let you talk next time." And I was like, "What?" I go,
If
"It's not.
what? Wait, what
It's
did she
not.
say? I missed
It'd be
that.
nice if Good Morning America let me talk." And I go, "Mom, it's not my story. It's not even my name on the show." But it's
I
just
didn't
that's
even
a
talk
mother.
to them.
Is that funny as hell? That's a mother. It reminded me of Jay Leno when he said the first time he was on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and he told his dad, "Hey, I'm going to be on the Tonight Show." And then next night, of course, he wasn't on, and his dad called him and goes, "So I see you got fired already." And he goes, "I was a guest." What are you talking about? But that part made me laugh when you talk about how serious this topic is. The fact
Yeah.
that as a mom, "Hey, it'd be nice if Good Morning America let you." I go, "What?" I go, "I didn't even look at myself. It was Nicole that's telling the story." It was so funny to me that just a mom's love right there. But as
Yeah.
far as people knocking your door down now to share your story, and I know my guess is through your mind, you're thinking, I got to say yes to so many of them because again, my goal is to share my story so other people don't feel alone. And basically you didn't have a choice of making this public. You had to do it because you have a daughter that lives with you. And
Yes.
you can't let the world know let everybody know what's going on except your daughter. It's going to take her a second to figure out and then she will resent you for not sharing with her. You had to
100%.
make this
Oh,
public.
listen, she came home yesterday. I was shooting all day yesterday, and she came home. She had cheer, and we met at home about 6 o'clock. And she showed me a text from a friend and said, "I heard about your mom. Love you guys. I hope she gets better." And she goes, "How did she know?" I was like, "Oh, babe." I was like, the internet's kind of blowing up with it kind
Yeah.
of got out and all the news the media has published the story, and I said, "But it's all really positive because we're getting like so much love." She's like, "No, no, no, I get that. I get that. I just didn't know how she knew." And to speak to what you said is my friend from People Magazine, she put the story out. She released it with my permission. Publicly, and then it kind of went like wildfire because she saw the podcast and, everything else. And so, of course, I got so many amazing people asking me to do exclusive interviews, and you can only do one. And that's
Yeah.
sort of the deal. I think a lot of people don't understand how this whole thing works. So like I was dressed, ready to put makeup on. I had a car waiting for me to go do one when someone who works on my team called me and said, "No, no, 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 don't go anywhere. Um, there's something else that we have to do and you can't do anything else." So it's just like, once you choose one outlet and you do that exclusive with them and you sign those
Yeah.
contracts, you have like, I'm not trying to get into any kind of legal
Exactly.
problems here. So I can't really talk about, any updates or what's going on with me or whatever until this interview airs. It will be like the one exclusive sit down with me. Um, and after that, if I feel like doing some more, or if anybody even cares anymore at that point, um, then other ones will come into play. But I will be doing one, and I did one, and I felt like that was a lot, and that was enough. It's a lot to talk about. It's a lot to keep talking about it. 'Cause I don't like it.
No.
I like to think about other things and keep moving forward, but I do enjoy that getting the word out and letting people understand, you know
Let me ask you this question, again, all over the place, because again, I'm trying to read everything that's out there on you
Oh,
right
God.
now.
God bless you.
And so well, they do a very good job as far as whether it's the New York Post or Entertainment Weekly, whatever. They do a very good job on crediting, your agreement with People Magazine of saying as told here, and they, tell the story. But the thing that bothers me is, to me, you've never looked better than right now. Like you look fantastic, and it seemed like every picture they post are you at your worst.
Of
That would
course.
bother me of going, is this the way it works to say you're gonna kick someone when they're down?
Okay, okay, that's one way to look at it, but from an insider point of view, it's what they have that they've already purchased that they have in stock. So it's
Got it.
in their stock footage, so they'll reuse like, each outlet will reuse the same pictures because like, let's take TMZ, for example. And I love them over there. I love that show. I support them. I think that they do one of the best jobs of actually telling a real story. And but they put it out and it's a picture of me after I had been up all night crying, spent the morning crying with Alexander Polinsky, and then had to walk into a room and do a press conference with like really bad office overhead lighting. So it's like the overhead lighting, the puffy eyes from crying all night. It's just like it's the worst picture ever. And they reuse it and they reuse it and they reuse it, but it's because they own it and it's because they have it. So they'll just go back in their thing and they'll put that up. And it's like 6 years old or something, but
Yeah.
they that's what they do. I actually saw that a lot of people just took pictures off my Instagram and then photo credited me, which I appreciate because those are always the most current. They don't have to pay for them. They're free because I put them
Yep.
online. I took them, I put them online, and there's no in between. They're not copyrighted. They're not hurting anybody. If I post it, then it is public in my eyes. I feel like if I
Yeah.
post it, I took the picture and I posted on a public platform, then it is, they have rights to it. So I felt like a lot of people use my current pictures from Instagram. So I was happy about that part. Um, yeah, it is what it is. They do love to use terrible pictures, but that's kind of what they have in their archive.
I got you. I got you. Let me ask you about your daughters real quick, just because I know your oldest daughter lives, more of a private life, and all of a sudden, her name's out there, and I don't know. I mean, it's a big news about her mom, and then all of a sudden, her name's out there when this isn't the life she chose as far as being a public person. Has it been tough for her as well?
No, she hasn't said anything to me about it at all.
Good.
She's used to it.
Okay.
She grew up in it, she grew up with it much more than my youngest. I think you have that a little bit reversed, is like my youngest is a little bit more like every time something happens. My oldest grew up being a baby, being on set, being at photo shoots, doing press, doing all that. She's grown up with it. Um, so to her, she knows how to what is that word? I can never pronounce the word compartmentalize it. What is
Yeah.
that word? When you put it in a compartment,
Yes. I
compartmentalize
got
it.
you.
Yeah, that word. She knows how to do that. She knows
That's
how to
funny.
do
All
that.
right, good.
Yeah,
I'm glad she's good. I'm glad
yeah.
that's just what. As soon as I saw her name in public, I was like, oh man, this is not the life that she chose. Of course,
Oh
and
no, they both have Google. You could Google them both. They're both got. Yeah, no,
yeah.
they're used to it. They're yeah, they're used to it.
I think one thing you said towards the beginning is that so many people are sharing their story with you too, and I know it's like they want to share the story because we're in the same club and they want to see the best outcome for you, so they're sharing the story. I have another close friend of mine who is going through another kind of cancer, who just snapped and just turned to someone and just said, "Shut the fuck up. This is my story right now." Like they couldn't take it anymore. It was just too much system overload of my friend did this and my mom did this and just you don't understand. Like I'm getting knocked over by a tidal wave. Just shut the fuck up, and couldn't take it anymore. And again, as you said, it's your story, it's your path, and you can't sit there and paint over everything and touch everything to hopefully that things work. You have to choose your choice of what avenue you're going to take to get better.
That's great. Um, I get it. I get that it's overwhelming. It is overwhelming. I think that if you get to a point where you feel like you might snap on somebody that's trying to support you, you should probably turn your phone off. Just turn the phone off, turn everything off, don't answer the door or whatever, because people really are just trying to help and just trying to love on you. And I get that it's so much, it's just so much to take on. I get how somebody could feel like that. I don't feel like that, but I get how somebody could, because all of it is just so overwhelming. So I get it, but I think at that point you turn everything off. Don't snap on people who are trying to love on you. But also the people who are trying to love on them should forgive them and understand that they're undergoing something, horrible. So everybody needs to be gentle all around, if that makes any sense. Just be forgiving and be gentle, and keep loving each other.
One of the things that I enjoyed from the outside was, and you've told a little bit of this on your podcast, is the writer strike hit, but you were saying, hey, what, I'm willing and I'm thinking I'm ready to jump back into this industry. I want to start working again. And I'm like, man, I can't wait for this writer strike to be over so Nicole can start pursuing what she loves doing the most. And the writer strike ends, all of a sudden you get sick, but the outpouring of people, and I don't know how often you talk to these people, of people that are well known on TV right now and that are working, that have supported you, I thought was really cool to watch.
Yeah, well, to me, it's this sign of powerful women supporting other powerful women, which is something that in my lifetime I've got to experience a change in that. It wasn't always like that. It was a lot of competition between women, and that has changed, and that has changed dramatically, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And what I love about it is that my girls don't even know what that is. They always support other women. They get support of other women, both of them in their generations. And so for me to have watched that revolution or evolution, should I say, of women, really understanding that there's enough light for everybody. It's like blowing one person's candle out doesn't make your flame brighter, whatever that ridiculous, a corny, again, I come back with my corny quotes all the time, but I swear to God, the older I get, the more I'm like, all those things totally work and totally make sense. Um, So yeah, I think that it shows where we're at in humanity right now, and women coming to support is just like, it's that feeling. It's a deeper feeling than just about me. It's not just about me. It's a feeling of like, yes, I've watched something change in society. I've seen it. I know my girls are set up for success because they're on that track. This is happening. This is amazing. And it's just a beautiful thing to see. It really, really is. And it feels amazing. And yeah, yeah. It's not about me, it's about where we're at. And I love that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to something fun. All right. I
Yeah.
think you could use a little bit of fun.
What do you mean? This isn't fun? Cancer's not fun?
No, it's not exactly fun.
Okay,
Gotta
fine.
ask you, are you watching Salt Lake? Are you watching Beverly
Okay.
Hills? What are you
Of
watching right
course
now?
I am. Of
Okay.
course I am. And I'm also watching Southern Charm. So let me just
Good.
quickly, because I
I'm
don't
glad
think
you're
you
into
watched.
Southern Charm. I'm a Southern Charm fan.
Oh, I've watched it from the beginning.
Okay.
Um, so let's start with Southern Charm. Like, what Shep, I feel so bad for this guy. I feel so bad for him. Did you watch the reunion?
Of course.
Okay. I feel so bad for him. He knows he's a clown or acting like a clown, and he's a good soul in there. And I don't think he has the proper support to get through it. Like, I'm a little bit worried about that guy. Like,
Yeah.
because the
No,
fact that his parents haven't already like stepped in and cut him off from his behavior, they just keep financing it. It's obviously he's got a lot of people. What is that word where people just let you do bad behavior and they
enable.
stand by?
Enable.
They enable. God, sorry. I will say my medication makes me a little like forgetful. So um forgive me on that one. Um they enable him, and it's just that's sad to see because he knows he needs the help, and it's just like, is he going to be able to get to the other side? Let's hope so. Let's pray so. And that Taylor, who looks is so beautiful and looks so innocent, is such a little I don't know. I'm not going to say the word because I don't slut shame, but holy moly. She's either just super revengeful in an immature way, or
Yeah.
she's a loosey goosey. I'm not really sure. I haven't made my mind up there. Woo! Not good behavior, girl. Not good behavior.
I
Let's
love the
hope she
show.
learns from it. Yeah, the
You know,
show's great.
I do. I love the show. As somebody who lived in the South for 9 years, I like the way they dress too. You know, in the
Oh
South, the
yeah.
people they dress a certain way, and you don't leave the house unless you're dressed a certain way. I kind of enjoy it. I enjoy the way
You know what
everybody
else? Like,
dresses.
this is like such a weird side note, but I always wonder how, because and I'm guilty of it. Everybody always has sweat pit stains, right?
Yeah,
Even like when we were editing the Baywatch documentary, we erased it for some people digitally because it's embarrassing. I don't know, it's distracting, it's embarrassing, and it's like not necessary. They never have fucking pit stains.
or back sweat. Well, like humidity
Or
in
back
South
sweat or
Carolina.
even chest or even booby sweat. They don't have it, and I don't understand. Are they that like they're like reptiles? They grew up in
Yeah,
that, and I don't mean that in an offensive way. I mean it like they are so used to the South that they're just accustomed to it. I mean, I go there, my hair's soaking wet, I'm dripping, everything's wet.
yeah.
I don't know how that not I never see a pit stain.
No, no joke. When I lived in the South, especially spring through almost to October, with the humidity, I used to take like 4 showers a day. Like I could not stand the sweat and then know I was sweating through my shirt and I
And
have
let
to
it
jump right
dry.
back in the shower. Yeah, I couldn't take it. And so when I watched, you're right. That's a good point. It's like I know it's hot as
No,
hell. South
they
Carolina is
never
very hot.
they don't even look sweaty in their
No.
face.
Yeah, they aren't even
It's
glistening. You're
bizarre.
right.
No, they are totally acclimated. So I give them that. The Beverly Hills, like, where did Denise go? What, Denise suddenly disappeared. She's
Okay.
like,
Do you think
she's out.
is it Denise's idea to disappear, or the producers say you're a wreck? Do they give you any tips? Like, I mean, she's wearing a coat upside down, backwards. It was
I
outstanding. It
mean,
was my favorite scene.
if I were the producer, I would want her back. I'm pretty positive their team, you know, because they're not mentioning it. So I'm thinking they came to some sort of agreement. My
Yeah.
sneaky suspicion says they came to some kind of agreement because, or not yet, they haven't addressed it. But I feel, besides Denise, who, listen, I get it. All power to you if you don't want to go back. She keeps giving it a shot and it keeps backfiring. And not everybody's cut out to be on that platform. But Kyle, something about Kyle, it makes me sad because I want her to be happy. And I think that she doesn't realize that everybody wants her to be happy. And I don't know what her real story is. I don't know what her reality is. And if there is something going on with this girl, or if this is a special friendship that's just bringing her out and getting her through a certain time.
Yeah.
And, whatever it is, um, there's something that's missing that's not being told. But I just hope that she knows, and maybe it's to protect her kids. Like, we don't know anything. I don't know anything that's going on with this lady's personal life. But what I do know is that everybody's rooting for her. So Kyle, if God by chance you hear this and you read any of those negative comments, you have to realize that the majority of people are rooting for you, and everybody wants to see you happy. At least good people, they want to see you happy. And if it means divorcing, if it means staying married in this like new modern family setup, whatever it is, go for it. Do it. Power to you. There are no rules. You get to do what you want to do. You get to do what makes you smile.
It's funny you say that. I think everyone does root for her, except maybe the
Yeah.
people on that show, except for maybe the people she's
No,
surrounded
she
by.
gets hate comments just like
Yeah.
everybody else. The hate
Okay.
on her is ridiculous. It's like so unfounded. It's just people, you know what? I think it's people who are looking for things to nitpick at, and people want, everybody's a critic, right? And so
Yeah.
no, she gets her fair share. She gets some serious stuff. I've read a couple things. I scrolled through a couple things and I was surprised by it. But she does. So I hope she doesn't let that get to her and affect her because yeah, people are rooting for her.
Yeah. No, I've watched that show from day one. She's always been my favorite one on the show. You know, I think you're absolutely right. It's interesting. The friend that she has, that people are wondering about the relationship. The friend that she has, you need one person in life to be on your side, and she
Yeah.
found that one person. Who she knows is on her side 24/7, which is outstanding. I'm kind of curious if we get more of
Who's
that
that?
story. The girl with the tattoos, the one that's all covered up,
Oh, her.
the one that was a fan that became her friend that she's
No,
brought
Kyle
on.
was her fan, right? Like
Yeah,
Kyle, she
yeah,
says Kyle stalked her. Oh, you're talking about the girl who's maybe the love interest, maybe not.
yes,
It's definitely love, whether it's romantical or if it's just, platonic. It doesn't matter. And it's nobody's business. Um, so just enjoy that love wherever you find it, wherever you get it, um, for however long it lasts. Just, and nothing's forever. So if it's just for this moment, just take the ride, enjoy it, and don't be ashamed of anything. I want to interrupt. What are we watching with something? Because you mentioned you got Subway. I have to talk about this
yeah.
because first of all, I'm a Wild Wings member. Like, I don't know if anybody else goes to Buffalo Wild Wings.
I have a
If there
buddy
are
of
any
mine. We
other
go.
fans out,
We
do you
go on
go?
Tuesdays. Well, I have a buddy of mine. He always calls
Yeah,
me on
'cause
Tuesday.
they have
Goes, "You want
free
to go get
wings. They
wings?"
have buy one, get
Yeah,
one, right?
yeah, yep.
Okay. Tuesdays is the bone in, Thursdays is the boneless. I'm not about a boneless. I want the bone in.
Yeah, boneless are just chicken nuggets, right?
Yeah, they're chicken tenders. Um, so I went and I redeemed they for my birthday. If you remember there, they give you like 6 free ones for your birthday. So I took my little one. I said, "Let's go." We were on a whole other side of town, and I said, let's go to Buffalo Wild Wings." She's never had it. And so I introduced her to wings, to buffalo, like
Yeah,
spicy wings.
yeah.
And she was like sitting there, like, and her mouth is
And
on fire. And she's like, I'm obsessed. She's like, I'm obsessed. Let's try another flavor. Let's try another flavor. It was amazing. She was so cute. She's sweating. She's like tearing. Her mouth is all red. And I was like, you're mine. Now you're my kid. I know you're my kid. 'Cause me and my oldest, we indulge. We love them. She was never wanted to participate. But she says she's a Subway girl. Listen, I don't
yeah,
like Subway because I don't believe in eating processed food,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that kind of deli meat is particularly really bad for you. And so I really try to get her to go to Jersey Mike's and then get the
Uh,
veggie, and she does. A lot of times she'll
yeah.
just get a veggie version. So I'm happy
Yeah.
about that. And it's Subway too. She'll do the veggie version. But guilty, I'm a member at both Subway and Jersey Mike's. So we go to Subway and they have the BOGO. Buy 1 foot long, get 1 free. And you and Josh went.
We
You
went to
got the foot long,
we
he
went
got
to
you
Jersey
went to
Mike's
Jersey
though.
Mike's. Oh,
Yeah.
wait. This changes the whole story. You went to Jersey Mike's and got the giant size?
Yes.
And
I
you
did.
ate it in
Yes.
one meal?
Yes. I regret it, but I did. And that's when he fired back at me. Are you 12 or are you high? Which one's your
Yeah,
problem?
that's, like, almost, humanly impossible. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Okay, so my story, but see, okay, so I'm gonna compare you to a 12-year-old girl,
Okay.
okay?
That's
So
fine. I've been
she
compared to worse.
so we go to Subway, and I'm like, "I don't know that I, like, want a foot long Subway." She's like, "Mom, it's free, just get it." And I'm like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Okay, I guess this will be, like, my cheat day. This will be, lunch and dinner." And she's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." So we go, we order it, and we get the 2 footlongs for the price of 1, and I'm like, "Oh my god." We go home, I leave the room, she sits down, and she's, like, on her TikTok watching, TikTok, and she unwraps it, she starts to eat, I go do something, I come back, she's ate the whole thing.
There you
She's
go.
ate the whole flipping thing, and I'm like,
Good for
"You ate that?" She's like, "Yeah, I was hungry." And I was like, "Oh my god." Oh my god, I couldn't I ate I ate half of it, and then I ate the rest for dinner. You ate something that is much larger than the foot long.
Yes. It's like 2 of those. Yeah. It's like 2 of those. I did. You wanna hear something funny? Well, not
Yeah.
funny, but it's kinda crazy. About 20 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, 25 years ago, I did commercials for Subway. I was a spokesperson for Subway. Like, I did TV commercials, and when you walked into a Subway, there'd be a big cardboard cutout of me, and they gave me the Subway card, which means
Jared?
I ate
You're
for free.
Jared?
Well, hold on. I was Jared before Jared, okay? So they gave me this
No, don't say
card.
that.
It was an automatic card to eat whenever you wanted. So I was at Subway twice a day. I'm eating before shows, after shows. It was like I'm nonstop. I'm eating Subway sandwiches,
Oh
and
my
I'd walk in, and people would go, "You're that guy." And it was just local here in San Diego, but I had the basically the lifetime eat for free at Subway,
oh my
and
god.
so it did fine in San Diego. And then Subway National approached me and said, "Hey, um, we have a plan where you eat Subway and you lose weight. Are you interested in doing this?" And I go, "Well, I don't need it. I don't need to lose weight. I'm already in pretty good shape." I said, "How about this angle? I eat Subway for someone that tries to stay in shape and exercises." And they said, "No, we're going to go in another direction." So they fired me and they hired this guy named Jared, and they went another route.
Jared,
Now,
AKA Scott Baio.
yeah, AK in jail. And
In
so
jail.
how did that work out? It wasn't exactly a great corporate decision on
Oh,
their end,
God.
but I
But
was
it
Jared
did,
before
it worked
Jared.
for them for so long. I
Yeah,
love that story. I love that story. That's amazing, because I
yeah,
don't believe you can the only way you could lose weight eating Subway is if you were, already a big overeater.
yeah.
That's like
Well,
any, people out there, like, understand the only way any of these, like, diets where it's a planned meal, the only way that works is if you're way overeating your amount of calories, so they're cutting
exactly.
your calories out. Just, don't eat that crap if you wanna lose weight.
Do you see that guy this week that posted on Instagram that he ate nothing but the Costco hot dog every meal for a week? And
No.
so for $1.50, and he said he showed what his grocery bill normally is compared to what it was eating every meal for $1.50. He lost 4 pounds in 1 week eating the Costco hot dog.
Oh my god. Like, I have no
See?
words. Like,
Yeah.
if I tried to get Keegan to eat a hot dog, or Dylan too, they would, like, they wouldn't eat. They would go on, like, a starvation strike. You
Oh
can't
my god.
get those kids. They're not gonna eat bologna or hot dogs or any of that same weird makeup of stuff. That's so bad for you people.
Oh my gosh. I have guys do dumb things, Nicole, as you obviously know. But I have a bet standing this weekend with the NFL playoffs on picking games with another person.
Uh-huh.
And if whoever loses has to eat a hot dog every 5 minutes for 2 hours. And I'm like, God damn it. It's yes, I'm kind of nervous that I'm gonna eat all these hot dogs. Like, what's it gonna do to my cholesterol? Am I gonna stroke out?
Okay, first of all, not what is it gonna
Yeah.
do to your cholesterol, what is it doing to, like, your liver?
Yeah, no
And,
kidding.
yeah, that's, where the real problem lies. It's not about gaining weight from eating a hot dog. It's not about that it has no nutritional value. It's about that it's, like, deadly. It's almost deadly to eat, but
Yeah.
okay, you go have your
It,
hot dog. You
well,
go
I'll
have your
let you
hot
know,
dog
Nick
eating
Show.
contest, people. Yeah.
Well, I'll let you know Nick Show if I won or lost that bet. But literally, I
Okay,
bought.
if you lose and
Yeah.
you have to eat them, can you change the clause to it being veggie dogs?
No, they have to be Hebrew nationals, is what they are. They have to be the Costco dogs. Yeah, I know. I literally went and bought a bunch of them because I'm not so sure on my picks this week. So I was like, I think I'm going to lose this bet. Kind of nervous about
Can't
it.
you just
But
okay, listen, I'm not saying be a cheater, but can you be a cheater and, buy the pack of the Hebrew, and then when you're actually eating it, eat the veggie ones?
oh, I probably could. Probably could.
Go to
Oh
Hot
my
Dog on
god.
a Stick, they have really good veggie dogs. Go to Doghouse, if you're familiar with that
Yeah.
chain Doghouse,
Yeah.
they've got great veggie ones too. I don't know,
Oh,
just a tip.
okay. I'm looking for anything. I just hope I don't lose this bet. But it's I'm not
Yeah.
confident on my picks at all this week. But anyway,
Uh-oh.
that's it. All right, let's get to the questions of the week, okay? If you want to ask a question, Nicole, all you have to do is go to Nicole's mailbag. It's perfectlytwistedpod.com. Check it out right there. And again, submit your questions. We have so many that have come in. Of course, people have reached out, Nicole, over the last week. And so we will get your questions on there and throughout this journey. These right here are questions that I pulled before just because I figure, it's going to be a heavy show. So we're just going to have a little bit of fun of what people want. This one, first one's from Erica J says, what character have you played that is most like you?
I wanna say none. Um, Not really any. If I, like, had to choose one, like, gun to the head, have to choose one, I would say, Holiday Switch. And I say that because it's a story about a woman who's completely conflicted. So, I guess that would best describe me. One side of her is all about family and love and all of that, and the other side of her is about wanting to be successful and being a boss babe and going after it and all of that. So, I guess that would be me, like that split personality. That's the closest, although it doesn't completely align. I guess that if I had to pick one.
When you were on, I asked this question because I looked it up this week. When you were on Charles in Charge, because I watched an episode, I pulled one off of YouTube. I haven't seen you on Charles in Charge in years and years. And I was like, she's nothing like this character. And then I was saying, well, of course she's not. She's a teenager. But at the same time, when you played Jamie on Charles in Charge, were you anything like her you felt when you did the show? No, not at all.
No, not at all. I mean, I was like way too old for my age, grew up way too fast, living that fast Hollywood lifestyle. I mean, I wasn't partying and stuff, but like my spirit, my soul was like much older than my age. I was into like darker music or like Jamie was very like cheerleader, preppy, popular, trendsetter, a, a bit of a brat, quite snobby. Um but I always kind of had that resting bitch face look about me my whole life. So and it's funny because I've always had it. And I think it kind of derives from like a childhood sadness. And so I always get really offended. Probably some of the viewers have got my wrath when they say smile. And it's just like I turn around like claws out, fangs out. Don't tell somebody to smile. Maybe they don't feel like fucking smiling. Don't do that. It's so rude. You should never do it. And I feel like so I was easily I was easy it was easy for me to play that character because I kind of had that like look on my face all the time. But I'm not no, it's nothing like her. I was like really easygoing, really insecure. She was extrovert, I was introvert. It was very opposite. I mean, Nicole and Jamie, polar opposites.
You know what I remember? There's was a time on there where you did your hair where it was like the I don't know, girls do the hair,
The
but it was like
crimp
that waffle, yeah, the waffle thing
or
look,
crimping.
whatever.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I remember going to school, and every blonde girl at my school had their hair exactly like you. And I was like, I'm looking around the cafeteria, like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
It
It
was
was
like that
very
scene
in.
in, yeah, it was like that scene in Fast Times at Ridgemont High where they're like three Pat Benetars. It was like, what's going on? But I think you honestly got these girls who changed their hair. You know,
And what a mistake. I apologize, ladies. I apologize. Not only was it like a bad look, it was so damaging to the hair. But
that
okay.
is funny.
Yeah.
Okay, Erica's next question is: which character did you play that was least like you?
Well, most of them, but I mean, if I have to pick the worst, probably Blown Away because I'm not really out to go kill anybody. Um, I'm not, having sex with people for to manipulate them. I'm then killing them and then getting killed. Yeah, that probably Blown Away.
Was it fun though doing something that's completely out of your norm like that? Of who you
Yeah,
really
of
are?
course.
Yeah, I
Of
think that'd be
course,
cool.
because you can leave yourself behind and, be somebody else. That's always for me, that's always the most fun.
Next question: what was your experience like as a mother to newborns?
Um, I mean, frightening.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, scary, scary, scary. When I was, my kids there's so many years in between them, 13 years. So when I had my first one, I was so young that I was like up for anything. I could handle anything. And I remember bringing her home and it taking me like forever to get ready, get everything, get her ready, everything. And I'm ready to go finally, like hours later. And I'm usually somebody who like throws some stuff on, I'm out the door. Like I'm a no fuss kind of gal. I sat there and I was like all ready. Everything packed. It was getting her dressed, and then she pooped all over me. Just shit all over me. And I was like, well, great. Now I have to clean myself. I have to clean this chair. I was just like, I don't think I'm ever leaving the house, like ever. Um, ever. And then I took and just like with my youngest, they're gonna be poop stories, sorry. But
That's right. I
poop
think
is the
most
most
parents know.
inconvenient. It's the most inconvenient. So when I had Keegan, I went to Miami. I had a meeting in Miami and I was like, I'm gonna take both the kids. We're gonna make a vacation out of this. And Keegan's too small to be in a car seat or in her own seat. She's in a baby, and I have her in a wrap around my body. And as we're taking off, and anybody who knows who flies, who's ever been on an airplane, you can't get to the bathroom for a good half hour after that plane starts to take off. She, I feel like she's in the sling thing, and I feel warm.
Mm.
I feel warm. I feel it starting to go down my stomach. I feel it go seeping into my pants, and I'm like, "Oh my god." And I go, "Dylan," and I open the sling and we look and it's full. All we see is poop, and she looks at me and she's like, "Oh my god." And I'm like, and so I sit there for a minute and I know it's all over me, and I sit for a few minutes and I get up way before you're allowed to get up. And I make a beeline for the bathroom and I get in there. And luckily it was one of those airlines that had a baby changing table in the bathroom.
Oh wow.
I know. And I throw this poop covered baby on that thing and I'm holding her still because she's like slipping and sliding and it's still kind of turbulent. And I'm like holding her like right at the chest under the armpit so I don't lose her. And I'm like grabbing, the paper towels and I'm like trying to take the sling off. And I mean, there's just shit everywhere. And they're knocking on the door. You can't be in the bathroom. You can't be in the bathroom. I open the door. Look. And the steward, he was this young kid, and he goes, "Oh my God." He's like, "Okay, I'll be right outside the door. Let me know if you need anything." It's like, close the door. I mean, a half an hour later, and the water pressure that
Yeah,
comes out of those,
it's
it's
awful.
like I'm sitting there and I'm trying to bathe and I'm trying to wash the baby and I'm trying to get everything. And then we're back in the seat, and my other daughter is like, "Oh my God." Ugh. And I'm like, sorry.
Oh my
But,
gosh.
this
Not
is,
yeah, not like the
this
flight
is
to Miami is a short
motherhood.
flight. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Okay, for
LA
another
and Miami? LA
yeah,
to
5
Miami's
hours.
not that short. Yeah.
No, I was joking. I'm being sarcastic.
Oh,
I was being
okay.
sarcastic.
Like, okay. Yeah, I wasn't going to Europe, thank God.
Yeah.
I was going to, yeah, Miami.
Oh my gosh.
So it
See,
was
that
listen, it was hectic, but I'll tell you another thing. The other side of all of that is that it taught me love. It taught me unconditional love. It taught me what it feels like to be loved and what it feels like to love someone so much. And
yes,
it's nobody understands it until they have their children. And it's just one of those life experiences that you realize why you're here.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, Nicole, what's the one thing about your personality that has stayed the same and what has changed over time?
I guess what stayed the same is that I always like to have a good time. I always try to make the most of everything. I always try to keep laughing and smiling, and I'm always up for like a party and a good time. That's who I am. I guess what's changed about me is that I'm able to talk to people easier. Because although I like to have a good time when I was younger, I was just so scared of people and so scared of talking to people I didn't really know and so insecure. So I guess what's changed about that is that I've now regulated. I know how to regulate when it's time to have a good time and when it's not time to have a good time. Um, so like I know how to I've learned to regulate that. And I've also learned to just be able to talk to people and not be scared and you know, be more open to people I don't know as well, which
There
I
you
think
go.
is big, it's big.
I agree. I agree. All right, the last one's from Tom Kara, and I know this question I think has been asked before, but if you haven't seen every episode, this is the first time you're going to hear it. It says, Nicole, when you were on Who's the Boss, how did you and Alyssa Milano get along?
We got along. This was a time when, you know, women weren't supporting women so much. And we were just kids. We weren't women, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But there's always like this competitive, thing in the industry. The end of the day, I was brought on because she was transplanted here from New York, and I don't mean transplanted like in a negative way. She moved here, she relocated here from New York to do the show, and didn't she was a very young girl and didn't have school friends because she was then being, tutored on set. So I think they brought a group of us girls in to be her friends and to also like, surround her with people her age. So that was great. And she just recently reached out to me in support. And that felt really good because it's been many years since I've spoken to her or seen her. And it's nice to know that like that we still hold each other in hearts, whether we
Yes.
have kept in touch or necessarily gotten along or necessarily been friends all these years. There's, you become an adult and you hold certain people in your heart. And I've admired everything she's done for the Me Too movement and her as a mom and speaking out on breastfeeding and everything. So we had a good conversation and that feels lovely. So I
That's
have
awesome.
nothing
I
but
saw that.
positive. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you
I
saw what?
saw that. I saw that she has reached out to you, which, well, yeah, I was like, cool, Marcy and Sam back together.
Yeah.
And she's a
Yeah.
huge Dodger fan too, which is always a
She is.
plus.
She is.
Yes.
Yes, she is. She has her own line. I think, doesn't she have a line of sportswear? She's big into sports wear
Ye
for women. So she has a clothing
Oh, that's
company. She's
cool.
had it for many years. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. No, I just know, when I watch Dodger games, I'll see her, on TV, you'll see her in the background and stuff, so if you're a Dodger fan, you're a friend.
I
That's
think
the way it goes.
that merch you buy in the stores there, that's hers. She does that. So
Oh, that's fantastic. That's good
yeah,
stuff. All right,
good for her.
that's all 5 questions for this week. Again, if you have a question for Nicole, just look for the mailbag on the website, perfectlytwistedpod.com. Easy. Very easy.
Yes. And subscribe and rate us and leave us
Yeah,
comments and check with us next week.
exactly right. The thumbs up helps as
Yeah.
well, is what I was told. Don't be afraid to ask for that thumbs up. So I had no idea about
Oh
the
yeah.
algorithm on that.
Give us a like if you like us. Yeah,
There
why
you go.
not? Yeah, spread the
There you
love.
go. Nicole, you
See you
made it
next
through a
week.
very tough week. You made it through a very tough week. Good job.
Well, I think I have tougher weeks ahead of me, but we're gonna get through those too.